Hello everyone, I'm Gav, the Masterman74 here again today, and welcome to another Half-Life 2 beta sort of chapter playthrough today. I'm currently in the Half-Life 2 2002 build, and this comes courtesy of somebody by the name of Toast the Fox, who released a map pack of Half-Life 2 2002 sort of era maps, and the purpose of today's video is to actually go over what is known as the sewer levels. You know, good old hashtag sewer level and all that. And as we see here in the map list, there's D1 sewer 10, sewer 23 and 49. Now 10, 23 and 49 are all the same map, it's just different builds, different stages of the map, so there's no point in going over all of them because it's just going to be the same thing. But what I'll do is I'll actually start with D1 sewer 4901, which is the first of the so-called sewer levels, if you will. And this takes place sort of before the canals chapter, but after the Kleiner's lab. So the whole context is that Gordon's trying to escape City 17 by a bus, and the bus gets blown off the bridge here, and we end up in this sort of drain basin area, and it's our job to try and figure out where to go. Now, one little funny thing that sort of was a meme from the stream archive I watched was that there's just a Combine soldier up here for no reason whatsoever, so that's pretty funny if you ask me, how there's just a guy there. But there's nothing in terms of gameplay at this stage because it's all like prototype maps, so I guess I should say shout out to the Half-Life Project beta people, because they do some pretty good stuff, and it is thanks to them that this is happening right now, and all of the other sort of Half-Life 2 beta chapter playthroughs that I do. Now, another thing that's interesting to point out is that this area actually survives into retail Half-Life 2, where the Hunter Chopper tries to attack you for the first time after the cinder block wooden plank puzzle, and you have to sort of go down this way, and there'll be a door here that you go through and go underground. But in the early prototypes it seems as if we're supposed to go down this way and go down here. Also, that's a bit glitchy, that, and the water doesn't ripple whatsoever, it just sort of looks like it moves when you move through it. But we're supposed to go down this way and go up this ladder here. So yeah, this is one such area where there's the barnacles, and there'd be wooden boards over this sort of gap to the outside world. But yeah, if you land on that, you probably slide down and you have to do it all over again. And you could just go up here, and then yeah, this is where you'd sprint down this way to go down that tunnel down there. But we can just like drop down through here, and of course, because this was incomplete, we're back where we started, so I didn't even need to go that way to begin with. But of course, this should have been like boarded up or something to make it so we can't go down this way from the very get-go. So it would force us to go down the way I just came from. But we can go down here, and the whole point is that we go down this corridor, and going down that corridor should basically, it will be an area you know from retail Half-Life 2. Oh god, okay. I wanted to see if we could see outside of that, but it's not really going to happen. So we can go down here, down this corridor, and we should trigger a loading zone, which is what we're doing now. And if we go down here, then it's this area from retail Half-Life 2, obviously. Now I'm pretty sure these wood logs here or whatever is not the actual model it's supposed to be here, because Toast the Fox, who made this, didn't have access to some of the models and materials from this era. So it was trying to use something that was appropriate, but either way, it is what it is. And I believe this section was supposed to be our introduction to the manhacks. So it's supposed to like fly around and eventually it would go ahead and find us later. So I don't know if it's scripted events that will necessarily play properly, because the Half-Life 2 beta engine is well known in my mind as being something that's highly unstable, and sometimes triggerable events don't work as they're supposed to. Air exchange, for instance, is one such example, which is why I've done a little mod project called AirX Retail, where it's basically air exchange from Half-Life 2 beta just ported into retail with workable ladders and all that, and some of the beta weapons. So don't know if I'm ever gonna get around to posting that online or whatever. I keep talking about it in videos, but this is where the manhack was supposed to come down here and fly off as a way, because it can't cut through the metal bars. So then this is where we go down this way, and I think one bad thing is that if you get stuck down there, there's no way out and you have to cheat to get out, so that's not very good. Oops. And yeah, you can kind of climb on these great textures for some reason. I don't think you're supposed to be able to. But this area survives as well. You might not believe it, but this is where the oil barrels are in Root Canal. And this is where you're supposed to fight the manhack for the first time, because it comes out of this pipe. So it's supposed to go into a pipe and then come out here, and we're supposed to fight it, but because this is all prototype stuff, we don't have any weapons whatsoever to fight it. But then we're supposed to be able to see out of here into the city, which looks pretty nice if you ask me. And we cannot go that way, but we've got to go down here. And I think this area's in retail as well. It's where you'd get the lambda cache by climbing up there and going around this way, and like going up here, for instance. Oops. Except we can't climb up because there's boards blocking our path. So good level design, guys. But we can go under here. That's number 2, and we can go down this way. And is it going to take us somewhere? And the answer is yes, it will. It takes us nowhere. So I wasted seconds of your life, I'm sorry. And I can't move any faster than how I'm moving now because I don't have the suit to sprint. But we're supposed to go down this way, because this is where we'd climb up out of this area. So this is where the big water chamber would be. So you'd flood it up and jump on those like wooden circular objects, and it'll get out here, because this is right before you get the airboat in Root Canal. So this is like level geometry from the end of Root Canal. But as you see, that's not very nice. That's the end of the level. There's supposed to be a transition here, but one doesn't exist. So we have to manually go to D1. Oopsie. Map D1 underscore sewer level 4903. Now this should look somewhat familiar to anyone who's like a Half-Life 2 beta lover, if you will. And I'll cover another variation of this map as well, but this is where we just came from. We would have, gone through these sort of tight passageways, and we would end up at this point where there's a pretty big drop ahead of us. So just drop down into the water, and we can go out here and barrel and stuff. So yeah, I'll just go through, because this is just literally a walkthrough, because we're not going to fight anyone or anything. But some of the level geometry here, which I'll point out in a moment, like here for instance, this is level geometry that was used from the E3 tech demo, where it was showing off the shaders. The Gordon Freeman made out of stained glass. That would have been here, based off of this level. And there was some, I don't know if it was debate or whatever the wording, but basically Half-Life 2 had a bunch of story changes. So stuff like air exchange was cut, the Borealis or the Hyperborea was cut, and some stuff was, cut and juggled around. And this level is an example of something like that happening. So this level, for instance, when I'll play this in the missing information engine, was actually cut from being from the start of the game, towards the end of the game. And so this was supposed to be like an uprising level, and we'd fight stuff like hydras and that down here. There'd be like 10 hydras in total we gotta try and fight, but unfortunately the hydras are a pain in the ass to try and fight, and I don't think they die, so that's quite painful. But this is where the level would end. We can go through the basically go through the lift except for the floor and the roof, and we'd get lifted up, if you will, out of this place and towards the street level again. And somehow from here we're supposed to go to the city wall and begin the canals from my Half-Life 2 beta playthrough series. But what I'll do now is I'll actually go to the missing information engine and cover an updated version of this map, so just give me a second, guys. And I'm back, everyone, in the missing information engine. This map is called D3 under 02, so it goes from being from day 1 to day 3. Now, there's conflicting sources. Part of this was the missing information team, I believe, and that was one credit, and the other credit was Buto. So kudos to those people for making this map. As you can see, this is the exact same level geometry to begin with, and we're going to have this drop here, except there's only one mana hack here instead of 4. But oh dear, that's a Hydra. We don't want to mess around with these guys. Jesus, I don't know how I got past that without getting hurt, but I think the thing with the Hydras was that it's fun to see them try and take out other NPCs, but they were a pain in the ass to fight when it was just you around, so it's good to see the Hydras take out like manhacks or the Metro cops, but it's not very nice when it's just you and you got to try and fight them. So I did actually play through this earlier, and I did manage to succeed in getting through it, so I'll try again, but it's going to be more like a speedrun of the last level, because I don't think there's much you can do against the Hydras, sadly. So, but it's exactly the same level except for like these, I think that's missing information's fault. There's like a missing texture on the metallic fences here. So that's supposed to be like a metal grate, but for some reason the texture's just not pointing to the right place. You saw that, right? Those manhacks came out of nowhere. Is it Hydra is going to do it? No, sadly, he wasn't going to go after the manhacks there. Oh shit, I'm stuck. No. I don't even know if that's going to do anything, but you know. I think there's supposed to be like Hydras in this area as well, but there isn't, so. Oh shit, I'm out of ammo. Right. No. Okay. Well, still Hydras down there, but yeah, not going to come after us. So I think in this area as well, or the previous area, you're supposed to go down one of these tunnels that it's like only in one revision, and it's in none of the other revisions afterwards. So that's pretty interesting to see how such level design choices can change. Oh shit, gotta get past this guy. Gotta get past this guy, come on. Oh god, that could have killed me, dude. I'm not even kidding, like these guys will kill you like in like one hit if given the opportunity to do so. But there we go, we made it. I didn't die once. It was more like a speedrun because there's not much you can do to kill the Hydra, sadly. But yeah, this is what I mean about getting lifted up and out of the area to street level, except that looked like dev textures right there, so I'm not 100% sure about that. And it looks like it's lagging as well, the video. I think that's my game doing that, not the recording. But I'd have to say, ladies and gentlemen, that's been the sewers, the hashtag sewer levels from Half-Life 2 beta. I hope you found this entertaining and enjoyable. Sorry for not covering all of the maps, because not all of the maps are available, and it is beta stuff, so it's not like it was fully complete. But imagine what I've just done there and going to the start of the canals. That's kind of the storyline progression that was initially planned. But yeah, I'm going to be rounding off the video here, so thank you very much for watching. Kudos to the Half-Life Project Beta team for making this video possible, And I'll have to say thank you for watching, peace out, and see you later.